Welcome to Starter Pack. All right, today we're diving into a quote that I think really took Amazon to task, right? And I think this is something that needed to be said. So Spotify CEO Daniel Ek said it best, quote, "Our employees are not children." This statement came in direct contrast to Amazon's strict return to office policy, and it highlights just how Spotify is leading the way in real innovation. So why are some companies pushing for outdated office mandates while others are embracing the future of remote and flexible work? Stick around because we're going to discuss this today. All right, welcome to Starter Pack. I'm Spencer Thomason. Here at Starter Pack, we love to train software developers in our licensed coding boot camps and build custom software solutions. I do a lot of work as a fractional CTO. With over a decade of executive leadership and a solid 25 years in software development, I've mastered the art of transforming technology teams and products. All right, let's kick things off with some context. Spotify has made waves with its flexible work from anywhere policy, while Amazon, on the other hand, is enforcing a return to office mandate that came to you via the 1980s. This isn't just about work preferences, it's about who understands innovation and who doesn't. Spotify's approach says, we trust you to get the job done no matter where you are. Amazon, meanwhile, seems stuck in the past with its top-down approach, assuming employees need to be micromanaged and babysat. Let's be honest, this isn't the 1980s anymore. All right, so let's talk about some real innovation and trust in your employees. Spotify's remote work policy is a direct reflection on how you can show a direct reflection of trust. The company believes that talented people who are passionate about their work don't need to be babysat. Daniel Ek's statement, "Our employees are not children," was a not-so-subtle dig at companies like Amazon and others who are doing old, outdated mandates of RTO. And he's right. Studies have shown that remote work are often more productive than their in-office counterparts. A Stanford study even showed that 13% increase in productivity among employees who work from home. When you give people flexibility and autonomy, they tend to survive. Surprise, surprise. I really liked this LinkedIn post here. Let me pull this up really quick. Spotify has a work from anywhere policy and 134% growth in the past 12 months. When asked if they changed their policy given the shift many companies are making their return to office, they said no. Why? Because you can't spend all the time hiring grown-ups and then treat them like children, said Spotify's chief human resource, Katrina Berg. Can I get an amen to that? So, and he goes on to talk about this, and I think this is really funny because this post got a lot of really good feedback, and so, I agree with that, and that's what I'm really trying to highlight here, right? Is productivity and revenue growth stats don't lie. And let's talk numbers. Companies that embrace remote work have been shown to outperform their more rigid counterparts. According to a study from Apollo Technical, companies that allow remote work saw higher revenue growth. In fact, Bloomberg reported that remote-friendly jobs are good for business, with companies experiencing faster revenue growth than those demanding a full return to office. Why? Because happier employees are more productive employees. It's not rocket science, folks. Flexibility leads to better work, and better work leads to higher profits. Now, so the Amazon approach is backward thinking. Let's contrast this with Amazon's approach. Amazon has doubled down on its in-office mandate, requiring employees to return to the office for the full 5 days a week. The company argues that collaboration happens best in person. While there's some merit to that, it ignores the fact that the world has changed. People have spread out. Technology now allows for seamless collaboration from anywhere. Forcing people back into the office feels like a step backward. Spotify, on the other hand, recognizes that great work can happen from anywhere, and that's why they're winning the talent game. So, the Amazon approach just really is backward thinking. So Spotify's work from anywhere policy gives them a massive advantage in hiring. When you're not tied to a physical office, your talent pool is unlimited. You can hire the best developers in the world, whether they're in Silicon Valley or in a remote village in Norway. Amazon's return to office policy limits them geographically. They need people who can commute to specific cities. That's a huge disadvantage when it comes to attracting top-tier talent. In a globalized world, flexibility is key to hiring the best people. Otherwise, what you get is a bunch of grumpy people who had to spend an hour locked in traffic to walk into work, and they're already exhausted. whereas instead you get people who are refreshed, come to their desk happy. I really have found that remote work is best. And all of our companies here and all of our teams here at Starter Pack are remote, because here at Starter Pack we love to help companies get optimized and to optimize their systems. So if you have systems that aren't connected, reach out to us. Here at Starter Pack, our specialty is connecting systems to help companies run like a well-oiled machine. And since we're remote, we can work from anywhere and dig in with your systems and help you get connected. And we have a great track record. Now, Spotify gets one fundamental thing. Employees are adults. They don't need constant supervision to be confined to a desk to be productive. The idea that workers need to be managed is out by being watched over in their cubicle and being watched how many hours they're punching in is an outdated relic of the past. Modern companies like Spotify treat their employees like the responsible professionals they are. By trusting employees, Spotify fosters a culture of responsibility and ownership. This isn't about employees slacking off. It's about giving them the freedom to do their best work in whatever environment suits them. Now, when employees are given the flexibility to work in the ways that suits them, innovation flourishes. Spotify's model of remote work allows their developers, designers, and engineers to think creatively without the constraints of office walls. You see behind me, this is my home office, right? Companies stuck in the old way like Amazon risk stifling that creativity. How often do you see somebody making a YouTube video from their cube at work? When you're worried about the next in-office meeting, you're less likely to think outside the box, and that's why innovative companies like Spotify are pushing ahead, while Amazon is, well, let's just see how good Alexa still is after 10 years, right? Now, studies consistently show that remote work leads to higher job satisfaction. It's the simplest and cheapest way for a company to raise job satisfaction. The flexibility to work from anywhere allows employees to better balance work with their personal lives. This leads to happier employees, and happier employees stick around longer and perform better. According to a report from Fast Company, Spotify's HR chief emphasized that their work from anywhere policy has led to lower attrition rates and higher employee satisfaction. Meanwhile, Amazon employees are voicing concerns about burnout and frustration over the rigid return to office. And I really think that this is just a huge thing. Happy developers build better products, and I think that's undeniable. The Stanford study also shows that on average, the work from home employees work 1 hour a day longer, even though they have higher job satisfaction than employees who are in office. So let that sink in for a minute. If you're an employer, you want your employees to work more, feel better empowered, have a higher job satisfaction, and it costs you less to not run an office. As an employer, this seems like a no-brainer. So let's dispel the myth that in-person work is the only way to collaborate effectively. Modern technology has remote collaboration easier than ever. Tools like Slack, Zoom, GitHub, and many more make it possible to work together in real time, no matter where you are. I actually find it's a lot easier to co-work as a developer on remote share than it is trying to lean over somebody's shoulder at a desk. So if you're doing a code review, for instance, it's much easier for me to call somebody, do a screen share, than it is to try to go over to their desk where I'm reaching over their keyboard and zoning out half the time. I'm much more engaged on a screen where we can both see it in a full screen. Now, Spotify understands this, and they've leveraged technology to build a global team that works seamlessly together. Amazon's insistence that people need to be physically present to collaborate is outdated and is out of touch with how modern companies operate, because then all these people just commute to the office and then still use all the remote tools. Since I've made these videos, I've gotten multiple reports from people suggesting that they are being forced at Amazon to go to work, and yet they still have to clock in so many meetings and things like that are all remote. So they're sitting in a cube to do the same remote work that they could have done from home. Now, if your business has inefficiencies like this because systems aren't connected, reach out to us here at Startup Pack. We love to help businesses work like a well-oiled machine. So hit up startuppack.com/Spencer. Now, remember the Stanford study that I mentioned earlier. It's worth digging into. The study shows that remote employees are not only more productive, but also took fewer sick days and had higher job satisfaction. The flexibility to work from anywhere directly correlates to better performance. Spotify understands this, and they're reaping the benefits of trusting their employees to work from wherever they feel productive. Amazon, meanwhile, is stuck with an outdated belief that productivity only happens in the office. Now, here's another point. Remote work can save companies a lot of money. Without the need to maintain massive office spaces, companies can cut costs significantly and give some of that cost savings back to their employees. It's part of the reason job satisfaction is higher among remote workers. Now, Spotify has also begun scaling back on office space, investing that capital into innovation instead. Amazon, on the other hand, is pouring money into keeping massive office space operational. Imagine the innovation they could have funded, like in Amazon and Alexa and AI, if they'd shifted those resources elsewhere. Spotify's remote work policy isn't just a perk for employees, it's a smart financial decision. And that's one of the big things that I find as a company owner myself. Now, the debate over remote work versus in-office work often misses the bigger point. The future of work is flexible. It's not about forcing everyone to work from home or making everyone return to an office. Real innovation is in flexibility, letting employees choose what works best for them. Some people thrive in an office setting, others do their best work from home, and still others prefer a hybrid approach. Companies like Spotify recognize this, and they're building culture that allows for flexibility. That's how you attract top talent. Now, at the end of the day, great companies are the ones that can adapt to their employees' needs. Some employees love the camaraderie of the office, and others appreciate the focus they can get from working remotely. Now, the best companies like Spotify are the ones that provide options. They don't force a one-size-fits-all approach. Amazon could learn a thing or two here. Instead of forcing rigid rules, why not offer flexibility? The future belongs to companies that understand how to work with their employees, not against them. Now, here at Startup Hack, I've actually found that I build all of my teams remote, and what this allows me to do is to be able to hire without concerns of geography, and I love that. It also allows me to be able to couple onshore and offshore teams together to be able to bring more efficiency. But we're really focused here in training software developers here locally so that we can build up a local workforce to continue to train junior developers into becoming seniors. So I really like this flexibility that I have to be able to take somebody from anywhere in the US and be able to help to train them to become a software developer and to be able to manage them into our teams. Now, what are your thoughts? Do you agree? Do you disagree? I love having a great discussion. So make sure you leave a comment down below because that's the best compliment you can give me. We try to bring you valuable content here at Startup Hack. And at Startup Hack, we love to train software developers in our licensed coding boot camps and to build custom software solutions for companies. So make sure you reach out and say hi or hit us up down below if you need help getting your company to work like a streamlined machine. So check out startuphack.com/Spencer and we'll catch you guys next time. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel because we bring you lots of great tutorials and tips that every developer should know. See you next time.